fluctuations.
Oh, all right.
And I'm not worried about what's going on physically necessarily, and I'm liking to think that
you may be picking up on electromagnetic fluctuations within the collective consciousness based on certain things that are happening on your planet right now.
I was hoping you'd say something like that. I was thinking maybe I'm picking up something like a new energy coming in, or my heart chakra opening, and I feel...
There is that, but you're also allowing it to be sensitive to fluctuations in the electromagnetic field of the collective consciousness based on certain things that are going on your planet right now that are being worked out.
Is there a way that I can help my body calm down so when this does happen, I don't freak out?
The gamma frequency can assist with this, deep meditation can assist with this, and redefining the idea of the experience can also assist with this, because the only reason you would, as you say, freak out is because you have a definition that what's happening has to somehow be negative. So when you redefine the experience in a more positive way and explore how it can serve you in a positive way, no matter what the origin of this may be, you'll start to get more beneficial effects, and those beneficial effects can help you experience the idea in a calmer way, in a more peaceful and balanced way.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
My second question is about absorption.
Absorption.
Mm-hmm. And
you mean like a sponge?
Yes.
All right.
A few months ago, I went to see an herbalist, and when she looked at my tongue, she saw that I was eating healthy, but some of the nutrients weren't being absorbed into my body.
Then you may be overly toxic.
Okay.
Therefore, a thorough detoxification of the body may be in order, because when toxins lodge in the cells, they are prevented from absorbing nutrients that you may be putting into your body, and therefore the cells can't use them. So remembering that your air is polluted, your water is polluted, your food is polluted, it is perhaps of benefit for many of you to do a thorough detoxification of the body once or twice a year, so that your body has the ability to absorb the nutrients you put into it and thus be capable of healing itself and balancing itself.
And thank you for that.
Yes.
And I was, when she told me that, I started thinking about how not just physically maybe not absorbing things, how intellectually or mentally I feel I've put up blocks to absorbing information.
Why?
When I was a little girl, I remember when I was like 5 or 6, and teachers would ask, like, well, do you have this answer? And I would immediately go to this place in my head where it was wide open. And I would recall where I learned that information. It's almost like I knew where it was located and I would call it forward.
Yes.
And I thought that was normal for everybody.
Did you get chastised for not doing the work?
No, it wasn't that, but some other kids around didn't, they weren't able to access that knowledge. And I'm a tiny lady, and I was a very tiny little girl, and so I was physically intimidated by some of these kids. So I just kind of like put a
we understand. You put up a barrier to the idea of your ability to access so that you would fit in.
Right. And so now it feels like instead of having this open expanse to, like, I know where the information is, and I'm calling it towards me, but these walls go up.
Well, all right. Well, you still are buying into the belief system that if you drop those walls, that you will experience the same kind of intimidation now?
I think so. And I want to get...
Why would you experience that now?
I guess I'm working through some fears.
Well, yes. Of what besides the intimidation?
Being in, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Looking stupid. I don't know the attention. This is a little challenging for me to be up here, but I'm more excited than...
Well, all right. Well, congratulations for at least dropping that wall. Right. But again, the idea is you have to examine your belief systems about why you think that's still a reality for you. You're not that child anymore, are you?
I'm not.
All right. Well, are you sure?
No.
All right. Thank you for your honesty.
Maybe I feel like I'm going to threaten others. There's a power in me that I'm going to get...
Others may choose to feel threatened, but you can't threaten them. Just as you cannot be threatened unless you choose to feel threatened. So this is about the choices that you're making based on what you believe is most true for you. in relation to the circumstance that you're describing.
Okay.
So, it's about taking a moment to realize that you're no longer that little girl, that the circumstances now can be very different for you, but that it doesn't really matter whether they are or not, because it's about taking responsibility for your ability to respond. It's about allowing yourself to be who you truly are, knowing that that's actually what serves everyone best, whether anyone else recognizes that or not.
Okay.
Because otherwise you are withholding your gifts, you're withholding your frequency, and that's not helping anyone, neither you nor anyone else who really needs to find you, the real you, and interact with the real you. And even if there are people along the way who may, because you are showing them something, reflecting something to them that they resent within themselves and projecting that resentment on you, that's their issue, not yours, if you're not doing anything intentionally malicious.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
But you are depriving the world of your gift, of your energy, of being who you are. And therefore, in a sense, you are, now I only mean this euphemistically, this is not a blame issue, you're not doing anything wrong, but in a sense, you're allowing as much damage to happen by withholding yourself as what you experienced through the intimidation. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So, I understand that you may have beliefs that allow you to feel fear of being yourself because you are afraid that something will still happen. But again, you can only be affected if you believe that you can be, if you choose to align with the idea that someone presents to you of negativity. If that's simply not a vibration that you prefer, you don't have to feel intimidated, you don't have to feel threatened, you don't have to feel less worthy than, you don't have to feel like you stand out in a strange or awkward way. You are being yourself, which is what you were designed to be. And that's what makes all the difference in the world and gives those who are willing to see you for who you are at least an opportunity to see in you an example of an energy that will allow them to know it's okay to be themselves as well. So by remaining in your own darkness, you are also not allowing other people who are choosing to be in the dark to see the light at the end of their tunnel, because you're not being the light you could be being. Does that make sense?
It does. And I've been hearing that. It is. That's the message I've been hearing from my...
Well, then you know what it is you need to be. Yes. And if you feel the fear, then just stop. Take a moment. Ask yourself, well, what belief am I holding on to in order to feel this way? What is it I'm believing about myself to be true in this circumstance? And as you examine that and realize that you don't really need to hold on to those beliefs anymore, they simply aren't relevant for you anymore, and that they come from other people and have nothing to do with you, you will begin to relax and let them go, because they will make no sense to hold on to.
And through this process,
yes,
will I be able to absorb more knowledge that's...
Yes.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Does that help?
It does a lot.
Did you absorb the knowledge we just shared with you?
I think I did.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Thank you, my little sponge.
Thank you.
Please remember, this is very important to remember, all of you. Our civilization is not doing anything more than you're doing. We create our own reality, you create your own reality. It's just that we are aware that we're doing so. So the only difference between what we experience in our civilization and what you experience in your lives, in your civilization, is not a difference that we're doing something different. It's the degree of awareness that you have that you're doing the same thing that we are. That's the difference. So the more you are more aware of who you are and how you're creating your reality through your belief systems, then the more you will see that you are always in control of whatever it is that you experience in life. Yes?
Yes.
And to you, good day.
Good day to you too. Thank you. Thank you for your teachings. I am curious about the breath exercise that you just did.
Yes.
And I do a lot of work with people and work on myself quite a lot.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the power of the breath to create transformation and how I can use it in my work with people who have experienced trauma and suffering.
Well, again, allowing them to go into the meditative state through this style of breathing, which sometimes is referred to as meditative breathing or yogic breathing. It has many different functions in that sense, but as we said, it energizes the body. It brings that in, which supports the body more fully to allow the person to feel more stabilized, more supported by that energy, and more connected to the idea of the higher levels of their being and their own consciousness. It fills them up in that sense in a very different way that allows them to feel like they're riding a wave and floating through an experience rather than having to push their way through or fighting against a current. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right.
Thank you. And I have one last question about the power of beliefs that can act as barriers.
Yes.
I've noticed that even when I intellectually understand that a belief is not relevant to me, to my
Yes.
life,
That it's difficult to still let go of?
there is a pattern that seems to continue to exercise a gravitational pull. No, that's just another belief.
Yes. Remember, a habit and a pattern is something you don't know you're doing by definition. Once you become aware of the pattern and the habit, you don't have it anymore. You have to be beyond it to know it was there. Because while you're in it, you don't see it as a habit. You understand?
I do.
Therefore, you have a definition in your society that once you become aware of a habit, you still now have to do something to let it go. Becoming aware of the habit is the end of the process of letting it go, not the beginning. And if you know that, then you will see that it is gone. If it still continues, what that means is you still have another belief you haven't found that says that for some reason you have to keep choosing to do something you don't prefer to do. Find that belief and let that one go. And if you still are behaving the same way, you still haven't found the core belief. Keep digging. When you truly find the core belief that underlies all those secondary beliefs and truly let that go, then you will see no more of that in your behavior because you will stop choosing it because it will make no sense to choose it anymore because it has nothing to do with you anymore.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Please remember, you do not do anything that you don't on some level choose to do. It always comes out in your emotions, your thoughts, your behaviors. They are always the signal about what you believe to be true. And you then have the opportunity to use those behaviors, those thoughts, those feelings, to trace them back to what belief you must be holding on to generate those feelings, those thoughts, those behaviors. Just keep digging. Eventually you will find the core belief. But remember, this is the tricky thing about negative beliefs in particular. All beliefs will do whatever they can. They're designed to do whatever they can to reinforce themselves and make it seem as if no other belief is possible, because that's the only way you can actually experience a reality reflection of a particular belief, is they have to seem real and reinforce themselves to seem like nothing else is real. So when you're dealing with positive beliefs, that's not really an issue, because you don't care that the positive belief and the positive reality seems real. You follow me?
Yes.
But the idea is that when the negative belief uses the same methodology to reinforce itself and make it seem as if no other belief can take its place, now you start feeling the idea of the tricks and the tools that the negative belief uses to induce fear in you to not choose any other belief. You see, when you're dealing with positive beliefs, they allow you to choose negative beliefs if you want to, because they're positive. But when you're dealing with a negative belief, it's going to use whatever tool or trick it can to stop you from choosing a positive belief because it's negative. That's how it works. But if you know it's just a belief, and you know you can change it because it's just a belief, then you have the skeleton key that always will unlock the idea of whatever a negative belief may be telling you to believe is true, when it's nothing but lies, smoke, and mirrors, just to get you to keep believing in the negative belief because it's doing its job in doing that. So you need the skeleton key of just knowing that no matter how bad it feels, no matter how fearful it may feel, the idea of changing or letting go of that belief, it's just a belief. And in fact, the stronger the fear to change gets, that's when you know you're closest to changing. Because that shows you that the negative belief is using every single one of its tricks and tools to get you to not change. It is pushing as hard as it can to make you as terrified as it can of changing. So when you are right at that brink of absolute terror, you are right on the edge of absolute freedom. Yes, you have that saying, it's always darkest before the dawn. Yes?
Yes.
Well, this is how negative beliefs work. They will make things seem very dark, very formidable, very fearful, very dreary, very dangerous to get you to not let them go. But when you start feeling that, you just need to keep going. I'm not saying you can't feel the fear. It's okay to feel the fear. You can acknowledge it, but you just have to know that that's just the lie that the negative belief is telling you to get you to not let it go. You have to know it's just a belief and just a trick. This is where the religious phrase comes from, the father of lies. It's just the negative belief system. That's all it is. It's going to lie to you. It has to lie to you to get you to believe something about yourself that just isn't true. You're unworthy. You don't deserve. You're incapable. You will be intimidated. Watch out, that's dangerous. These are all lies, but it has to tell lies because what it's telling you isn't the truth. And the only way to get you to pay attention to the lie is make you feel scared enough that you will not allow yourself to believe the truth. You are worthy, you are deserving, you are brilliant, you are beautiful, you are creative, you are loved. It's just doing its job. It's not being malicious, it's just how it's designed. But when you grow up and you know that, and you handle it in an adult way, you will know, all right, you're doing your job, thank you very much, I'm very scared, ooh. You've done a brilliant job of attempting to prevent me from moving in a direction I prefer. Well done, I applaud you. You're a brilliant negative belief. And now you've done your job and you can relax because I'm choosing something else, thank you very much. You choose what you prefer without invalidating what you don't. Because invalidating what you don't prefer keeps you on the negative side, which is exactly what the negative belief wants you to do. Yes, please invalidate me. Come on back. This way, this side of the line. Go ahead, judge me, invalidate me, because all you're doing is judging and invalidating yourself again, and oh boy, I've got more to work with. You following this train of thought?
Yes, I continually reinvest in a negative belief by resisting it or criticizing it or attacking it.
Absolutely. And when you invest, to use your word, in a negative belief, the only thing that can happen is depreciation. Yes? But when you invest in the positive belief, appreciation. It's not an accident that you use these same terms for your money. You understand? You're investing in a negative or a positive. Depreciation, appreciation. So if you want your sense of wealth and value to grow, appreciate yourself and stop depreciating yourself. Does this help?
It does. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.